So I'm just gonna go in underneath his head. And again, just look for that light rotation. I can tell by doing this that right here in his spine, see, so if I went to quote lift his head, he can do it, but it's not, it would be a force. So under this shoulder, yep, now see? You can see too how the elbows are presenting. They don't want to cross that midline that I was talking about. Mom, I apologize. I'm here teaching, so
Yeah, no, it's okay.
whatever I'm saying, I'm working on changing it, so I don't mean to sound like I'm...
No.
What? Your elbows, I know. I don't get any prettier when your vision improves, no. Just nice underneath. The shoulders, the elbows, this arm is much nicer. Now, even from this position, if I wanted to just stare down at him, I can work on the pelvis. It doesn't have to be from the other side. What? What? Do you think I'm going to do something? Is that what you're looking for? I know you want it. We're going to help you. I just have to assess you first. Holly wants me to do the full assessment before I start working. So I'm doing the hips. Yeah, I don't even have to look at that. I know. I'm doing here the knees. Again, if you're new doing this, you want to go around, that's fine, but since I have his attention, you can just, and I can even do it this way if I wanted. What? Did I get your foot or did I stop looking at you? And this side too, you can really. Now I'm going to get to work. Does anybody have any questions for us before I start?
So what was your assessment? Nutshell about it?
What's interesting is that it seems that the left foot is more engaged and then the right arm, he's not same. This arm seems freer than this. See, you can see with the right shoulder versus the left shoulder. So he wants to come, let's say, more here. Let's see if I can see how that's awkward for him to do that. And then here, so if I were to lift him into sitting, see, it's not. That being said, now, to score-wise, I would have to sit down now and do the birth and see where his birth and all of that was going on to get the number score. But the fact that especially the spine feels like it's, quote, stiff or unengaged in this area, that alone to me is, I need to get to work. That, and not unfortunately, I've seen photos of him, movies, so I know he was one of the guys I showed you yesterday.
Will you go over the assessment thing with us?
Yeah. See, you can see again, they want to do stuff. What? I'm just underneath right now. There we go. Just trying to engage that spine. So see how I wrote down into the chest and I'm lifting back up through the shoulder just to see if I can start rounding that area of the back. Now I'm going to do that from this side. You think? You have a lot of conversation going on here. Now he's what, 6 months and a quarter?
No, he is 4 months, 1 month.
Oh, okay.
So he'll be 5 months and 1 week.
Do you see more of what was going on like with the other baby? How he wants to reach out and those elbows are bringing it back. Does that make more sense? See? And then he comes back. So now if I just go like this, oh, you scored. You scored. Oh my goodness. Oh. Yeah. but see now how he can bring his hand up. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Remind me, since he's getting 2 lessons today, I'm going to do a little bit of his facial work. It's because his tongue is a little, something's going on. Yeah, that tongue. If you just want to fix it for me, then I don't have to do it, that's fine too.
How can you tell something's going on?
Because for some reason, he kind of sounds like this versus like where he's moving the tongue around. That unfortunately is just probably just experience kind of thing versus actually saying, oh, you know, specifically the tongue's in this position. But also the way he's not bringing his head up or any kind of a pecking kind of thing. So the tongue's getting a bit too used to falling back in the, so which could be more a tone issue or, his tone is actually quite nice, but.
Does he have breathing? No. But I wasn't able to latch him when he was born.
To taste the bottle or
Yeah.
the bottle?
But when he was born, his sucking was really loud. I mean, I could even barely feel it.
See, he's saying, you're so much prettier than I am. What? Did you hear her giggle? Yeah. So now his middle back is just not, I'm getting there, But it looks like I'm doing more of the work here, but it's underneath that I'm doing more of it at the moment. This is just, again, to accent that rotation. That's better. But you can tell right now, I don't know what it is about the cameras, the kids know that more than they do the, I'm not concerned about his vision.
Were you
Really?
concerned about the other baby's vision?
Not at the end, but I was in the beginning.
In the beginning?
I wasn't getting any kind of upper quadrant.
Right.
But again, that wouldn't be an acuity issue, but it's going to be a system issue. So what most doctors are looking for, again, where they can assess, oh yeah, this child needs glasses or it doesn't need glasses, but again, with autism and stuff, if you're not scanning that room, same thing with dementia, that brain is just not going to develop the same way.
Or so we have to.
So, yeah. Or like nystagmus. I've yet to see nystagmus where that child hasn't been in the NICU. I think it's an effect of the NICU. Yeah. But see, he's good. He can see easily 6 to 8 feet.
Yeah.
Now I'm using his vision to slowly bring him over. See the lift? See the lift? The lift shouldn't happen. See, and he face planted. But that's okay. Thank you for adjusting that. So he's got the mechanics in there, but you can see where. Now I'll have to go back now and work on that rotation to make sure he's not lifting the head, that he's just transferring it. But as you can see, I'm looking at all those ribs. Now, what a lot of you too have learned or have seen on my videos, babies can't fly, so if the hands come off the table, I bring them down. But as long as one hand here where he can transfer or transfer.
The chest is going.
So what I'm doing, instead of like this where he's deadlifting, see how I go to the left hand and then I'll go to the right. Now the right, he doesn't want to do that as nicely as the left, but so then I'm under here to see if I can coax more of that whatever's going on in the left. And that's where it is more of a feeling of functional movement versus that I'm particularly touching, you know, from the 3rd to 4th rib or whatever, or the upper thorax, because you're looking for functional movement. But see, now he's a little stuck, so he's scanning and he's having fun doing it, but he doesn't know how to get out of it. Unless, again, eventually the fatigue will just cut him down. You can play with him, my phone. But again, can you see how this baby's not going to give a doctor any concerns?
Yep.
Can you see where the concerns are, though? What?
I said a little bit, it's harder for me.
That's okay, that's okay.
Because they're subtle.
Yeah.
They're very subtle.
Very subtle. I mean, when you point them out, it's easy to go, oh, yeah, that could lead, but I couldn't just look at him.
So when I
and know.
turned him over, he was like, now because I was there, I was able, but I wasn't there completely, so he face planted. He should just nicely lift his head up and go back down, or go float. But again, these hands have not moved. He's brought this one off a little bit, but he's slowly sliding out more and more where the fatigue will get to him like this. But he's yet to go on his elbows, let's say, you know? Now, do I wait for him to fail, or do I sit there and slowly now start bringing those elbows? But that's where that crossing midline is showing up, where he's here versus coming here. And so, now with the baby, so now I'm just, since we're talking about, I'm rotating it in, letting him bear weight. And then I come here. And see, this is where mommy's going. He wants to move, he wants to, you know. And it's also the one of the biggest things you have to remember, it is unnatural for a mother to complain about their child, their baby. You can about your 15-year-old. I can give you a list of huge of my Gordon. But of the babies, it's unnatural. So for a newborn. So for a mom, like I said, do you ask if he had feeding issues? And her answer was no, but yet he did. So for a mom to then go to a doctor going, yo, like, can I give this one back? And it's not going to happen, you know. But for the 15-year-old, they're offering them up, but nobody wants them at that age. Yeah. See how he's stuck? See, now I can't even. So let me try him this way. I know you want to. I'm going to just. Okay. Shouldn't hear grunts from the baby. Because then they stop breathing. Just like you shouldn't hear an old person grunt getting out of the car. Not a good thing. I'm not saying he's never going to do a puppy pant, but
That was one of my concerns at the beginning when he was first born. He would grunt a lot.
yeah,
He stopped a little bit, but he still does it.
yeah.
He was doing it like a lot though.
Was it a C-section?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what's happening with a lot of C's, and I almost want to do a video. I think when they pull the baby out like this, the doctor has one hand that's a little bit harder than the other. So they get a little bit of like a brachial plexus kind of injury. So you'll see where the baby's just lying there like this. And I almost can like envision the doctor's thumbprint because they've just done this and just gone a bit too hard with that.
Fast, too.
Who is that?
Yeah, it's just interesting. Just to be trained to bring babies out in a
But
appropriate
again,
way.
they don't go back and look, did you produce
Yeah.
50% of your babies? Are they special needs or have concerns? Like right now, 1 in 6 babies in the US have special needs. That's a high number.
Well, but are they teaching the nurses how to pick the babies up too? Because, you know, they're giving them inoculations or, you know, cleaning them, they're, you know, doing all kinds of stuff.
Delivering
too.
them to the mother.
Yeah, afterwards. who's giving that nurse training? Because the nurses now, even nurses that don't want to work NIC unit, have to work NIC unit, they have to rotate now.
Yeah.
But if they don't have that touch, they don't have that with a child,
That's awful.
it is. It's,
Well, that's why I'm doing just that simple touch to you guys, just to show you what it's like to feel a touch versus a touch, you know? You like me? It's okay? But I'm looking for a response. I know. But with this arm so far out, you know, he's not transferring stuff in. I can tell you he's not crossing midline. I don't need,
And he should be at this point in his life.
oh yeah. Even if he wasn't saying, playing with a toy, you'd still see that touch.
Put the hands together
Yeah.
with one of the software.
Like here is he's not in contractions, but it's still an ATNR, and it, you know, almost 4.5, 5 months old, but he's done a lot with the left, and he's moving and kicking, so I'll leave him alone for a second, but you'll see much more where the right arm is just wants to, so if I go like this. See, he's interacting. He knows he's doing something, but. Okay. So much for that conversation.
see, it worked. Yay!
But generally, it's hard for him to grab a toy, right?
Yeah, this last week though, it got a lot better.
Yeah, but again, I sent, you did the videos, right?
Yeah, and it was, I do think it's still, like.
Oh, no,
so
no, no, it
this
wasn't
one
worth the
hand-
flight, but,
the other one.
yeah.
So have the doctors said that he needs working anymore?
No, actually, I just took him to PT and the girl in PT told me, oh, he's fine. There's nothing wrong with him.
You're imagining things, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's it, there you go.
But if you compare him to, you know, all the babies they have, and they probably have much worse cases.
See how I coordinate the vision
He
with this
probably is fine.
pelvis?
Yeah, it's like,
Well, in Arizona, you have to be 50% delayed to get services, 25% more in 2 areas, or 50% in 1, which I don't know how you're 50% in 1 and fine on all the rest, but, see how I work with that counterbalance and start bringing back in with the vision? That's it, there you go. I know you've got stuff. You've got stuff. And, but it's the kids here that would probably just slip through the cracks. But he's already getting services and she's going, he's good, so. But I'm still, that right arm is still. So I'm just, again, rotating, but this is a lot what a lot of us have already learned. Fall comes down, that I'm not gonna let him fall, but that in and out, and then right here. See, this is. See how he keeps the arm straight, doesn't want to cross the midline as he's tracking around? Are you starting to see that more and more from the other baby to this baby? Does it make sense? Just offering him as he's breathing on his side so he can balance, not working with the head just yet. See, now he has to kick forward to get the curve. He's not rolling over, he's trying to do it all with his feet. So I'll bring the feet out, there, release the pelvis. Better than before. So now we'll just try and start working back here. So you can see that the straightness of the spine going into here. So if I go and bring the spine up, so I'm going to just do what I did with the first baby. Trying to balance him in my hand. That's what I'm doing for the chest cavity, so he can work on his vision. Or I can start kicking in that pelvis. If anybody wants to come in and play with him, they're more than welcome to. I know he's content, but at the same time, you'd be more than welcome. There, he's now going to the elbow. I'm going to take his socks off just to give him a bit more friction on the table. But see the difference of him now going down to the elbow versus just being like this the whole time. Now both elbows. I still would like the head up a bit more, but at least now, but see what he's learning? And this is again, what I'll be teaching over the weekend, is that transfer of weight from back here and then here. Huh?
The beads.
Oh.
Maybe something.
Up on the, behind, on the mat there.
Thank you.
But at least now his arms are getting narrower, so he's doing a bit more presenting up and down. Can you see how his eyes and everything had to adjust to the new stimuli? So now I'm working on whatever's catching him on the hips. So for whatever reason, he's like here versus, again, where I can bring that leg up. So now again, would some people say you have contractions through there? This is where, there we go. I'm starting to transfer his weight over and then rotate through the pelvis.
Would you do the same type of movements if a child had dislocated hips?
You'd have to probably work more from here, because I want to offer, with the dislocation or not, the tilt of the pelvis going in and out, especially feeling the weight from here of his belly onto the floor and then back again. He should be able to push his belly and do these kind of things. So would I necessarily be torquing the hips out? Nah. So I would just make it a bit more secure, so the same kind of stimuli, and the foot and the knees can still feel coming to the table while you're working around where the hips are. I hope my tone of voice is good. I was gonna mic, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't, because if I'm mic, then I can't hear any questions on the camera when people ask as well, and so I wasn't gonna sit here and pass around the microphone either. And he's getting tired, but he's still content on the belly, so I'm fine with that. Huh? Now, another thing I'm starting to do now is the extension and in and out, because even though he's there wiggling, I have yet to see where even that he's had any kind of a thrust back. He's throwing his weight. There we go. He's never done this before, at least with me. See there, that's that thrust. But see, he can't push through a long way. Can you see that? He presents on the table, but I've yet to feel where he's going through the spine, let's say. But when they've just done a do move, I hang out there, let them experience it. You guys don't even buy a new car without moving the seats around and the mirrors and all of this kind of stuff. You know, when the babies get a new kind of toy or a position they've never been in, it's okay to let them adjust to it. So now I can come back again, work that pelvis. See how I rotate through the knee? Here, let me bring him on his back for a little bit, give him a break. It's still very hard for me to do it in this side. Now, either he wants to stay upright or just, so see, I'm just working that elbow to shoulder. There you go, baby. It's okay.
But I want that toy.
Is it, or because he can't roll over onto his back? So
What did you
it's.
say?
She
But I
thinks,
want that toy.
again, what it looks like is he wants a toy, but what I'm looking at it is that, okay, this is how I counterbalance, so I can't, he's never rolled over that way, to roll him back that way, and that's why I went real slow, because everything I want, when he does that, I just wait, and then as the exhale happens, to roll him onto his back.
It almost looks like he's fighting you.
He's fighting me, yeah, but it's,
I mean, like compared to the previous baby,
yeah,
it looks totally different.
yeah. See that fall at the end too? You don't want the fall.
Yeah.
But that way he comes over his elbow is just harder for him. But now I'm going to bring him back a little bit. See, can you see it a bit more? See the fight? And yeah, he can still play and roll, but he doesn't know how to do that. His diaphragm, see where I talk about, look at how contracted he is. He's really trying to push forward. But he's a baby. He should be able to play on his back and on his belly. Who cares? But again, if he only knows one way of doing something, that's where you start seeing the development issues coming into a year and stuff. Because he only knows how to play with a toy, let's say, in this position. And that's the one thing, too, when you're at class and stuff, or you see my videos of Omni and stuff, I don't think you just appreciate how upside down, right side up, I can play with a toy. But again, his arms are coming closer together, and now he can reach out and play. Can you see that? How he's actually now starting to do this, whereas before he was like, I see that toy.
He goes over.
It must taste good.
The green one's tastier than the other.
But again, if the doctor says to mom, are they bringing stuff to their mouth, are they mouthing stuff? The answer here would be yes, but technically no. He's not bringing it to his mouth, he's just taking, he's an opportunist.
Kissing.
But even Bruce, you should be able to start to see how people develop and end up playing instruments a certain way, just from this little bit.
Sounds like he's got that sucked down.
It's actually, this is the first time he's starting to puppy pant, I think. What? More of the, whereas up until now, really, a lot of his, all of his,
So puppy pant is more typical.
yeah, sorry. Well, it's just more of a long breath, see, where he's just, look at how he's huffing. He's breathing hard.
Big workout.
Yeah, but I mean, you grunt like that. Grunt the way he was doing it and try and get out of a chair. You know?
Why do you think he was grunting?
It just because everything to him is a lift. He doesn't transfer his weight. So when you typically you see it in CP, if I go like this, game over. If I'm in lift mode, I can't do anything else. I can't roll, I can't rotate. So that's the basis when infants, when they start going into it, I either have the object or I'm moving, but I can't do both. Because their counterbalance goes when you're in lift. But what a typical baby would do is this, and they bring it into them, they transfer their weight. But to do this, yeah, that's an adult function. See how much it takes for him to lift up, and I'm still supporting him. And the hardest thing is to realize he wants it so bad. Look at what this kid's doing. In the scale of things, if you had to do a workout like this is stronger than like Pilates or yoga, what he's trying to do. Hold on. I'm going to put you on your back, little stinker.
Plank.
Look at how, like, red and purplish almost the hands are from just how much force he was putting in there. You can come here, it has this. Is this okay? What about the other hand? Thank you for listening. Come back here. You're still more than welcome to play with him. I just want to give him a break from him being on his belly. He's having fun.
You get tired after 100 push-ups.
What?
So you get tired after 100 push-ups.
Yeah.
But what do you just do?
But babies kind of, when they're like that too, they're like, you know when you want to get out of the water and your mom's like, come on, come on, come on. You're like blue in the lips and you're like, no, I don't want to get out. Yeah. So this is what I'm teaching you in a second. You're going to get your bowls and your water. Now, he'll never come to sitting looking back up like me like this. You can't do it either. If your eyes are back here, now I'm not looking for him to sit up. I'm just looking for the back to bend. So I'm just going to come here to change the stimuli. Maybe I should go sideways. Sorry, guys. Hi, is that better? Yeah? Don't make me talk Donald. No. I never know with the babies how they're going to react. Some are like, wow, and other kids go, exorcism. So I'm just synchronizing the head with it into the chest, into the back. There we go. Now this is where I'm a little bit different. I like when they've had trouble coming into this position, bang for the buck. He gets a horizon to horizon. I know typical movement is through the sides, but if you have vision issues and you come around, that room's spinning. Bringing them up, catch the horizon, and bring them back down a couple of times, feel it, and then you can start coming up through the sides, and the vision is much more effective. That was fun, huh? You like me just going around like this? Huh? Yeah. Oh, that was nice. You got me. Don't be so. He was like, you got me. So see the chest move I was doing earlier? I think on you. See how I rotate the chest around the vision? I can rotate, oh, there we go. See, now that was 2, the head was independent from the spine. Coming back, see if you let me, good job. See the difference where you can go in and out versus, oh, he just really wanted that toy. Does that make sense more? Can you see it now?
And John
Yes.
be supporting his head.
Yep.
What did you just say, they were independent of the spine?
Before, when I try to, oh, sorry, sweetheart, my jersey gets out when I get excited. Before, when he was trying to roll over, it looked like he still wanted to play with that toy, but I took it that he didn't know how to go back, so he was gonna stay upright. So right there, it was the opposing side, but by holding the head, I was able to roll him in and out. He still maintained with the toy, but it wasn't like, I need to get that. A baby at this age should be able to just visually enjoy it as much as with the hands. They're not really at 4.5 months old, 5 months old going, I'm gonna get that, damn it, kind of thing. It looks like it.
That was also the first that he was actually doing any movement with his eyes.
Oh,
Watch
good.
this.
I get the
So-
back end, so that's where I
That's-
like Diane.
It wasn't following it exactly, but it was just enough that he could actually
So
see it.
see how
and
nicely he
move.
just came around. So see how I can move now, the hips and stuff independent? Look, there we
Good
go.
job. Yay. Because before if it went out of his sight, he didn't follow it at all.
Is it still there? Is it still there? Do you think? Oh, yeah.
Good job.
And see what I meant? That he needs to be quicker, from what I was just saying.
Yeah.
Can you see what's going on?
Well,
It's okay if you don't, but,
yeah. I still, not quite, I don't really get it.
no, you don't have to get it, but can you see that he's changing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Get my finger? Did you get my finger? The beads.
See, now this is a first real grip too, I'm seeing. That's nice. But see now how much nicer now he can balance on his side and he's starting to put down his feet versus throwing his feet forward to move? And that wasn't a fall, he rolled. Yeah. And you still grab it. What are you doing?
I'll try the other side.
I'll get there. I'm just going for success.
Oops. I think it hit you. Good job. Get hold of it. Almost. Okay.
Now I'm changing his
Wow,
vision.
good job.
You did get that. Oh, now you got the arm coming around. See, he felt that pull, and now he can bring the arm around better. Now I can start almost like a seesaw. Just so he teeters up and down the spine with his weight. You want that to be nice and fluid because that's going to bring him up to sitting so much more efficiently.
His fingers in his mouth now. Chew on his fingers?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Yeah. But before when I had him like that, he would always stiffen up his legs.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's even pushing through now with the
Yeah.
feet and stuff. And he's just maintaining his balance. He doesn't have to, yeah.
He's fixed on something.
He's flirting.
It's a good place to flirt.
See now how much more he's, I wouldn't say aggressive, but how he can hold the toys. Right. Now he'll get 2 lessons today. We'll stop right around 2 o'clock for him and then he'll, all right. Is that okay? Now both arms came up quite synchronized. Yeah, you did. And now you're pushing through your feet. I know. And it's okay just to hang out and let them milestone, as the old saying goes. I can sit and... I'm just seeing if his knees will come to the table. His back's getting more agile. I'm just seeing if the weight will bring his knees up. There we go. I'm just seeing where his natural gravity is. I'm going to go back and work with the pelvis, but I just... So his left knee's starting to come up. So now I'm just getting him to bear weight, just to feel. No. Okay. Shh, 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 shh. But this is where we're good 50 minutes into it, so he's...
He was starting to look tired when he was on his side.
Yeah.
His eyes were like, oh,
To do? Yeah. No, don't pull on me to get up. This is where you use your body. Do you see how smart he is, even at this age? That you don't want him to do that, to pull up. I'm just feeling him out. Okay.